Both Sam Altman and Dave Rubin just had a baby boy through surrogacy, and a bunch of people over on Twitter are freaking out right now. Now, there are very prominent gay couples that have been having children through surrogacy, and specifically, they've been having boys. I want to look at some notable tweets with people that are getting really angry, that are getting a lot of attention over on X, and then I also want to look at the original posts by Sam Altman and Dave Rubin to see all of the hate that they're getting in the comments. First, we're looking at Sam Altman's post over here on Twitter. It is, "Welcome to the world, little guy. He came early and is going to be in the NICU for a while. He's doing well, and it's really nice to be in a little bubble taking care of him. I've never felt such love." There's a lot of hates in the comments, so I just preparing. The biggest one was from this guy called The Quartering. Now, he runs a news channel that is specifically Christian conservative. Well, more just conservative, I'd guess, but he put, "Demonic. Why are gay dudes always buying baby boys?" You'll see there's a trend, like a lot of people are saying legal child trafficking is wild and all that stuff. Responding to The Quartering, you have, "Statistically, we all know why, and that child must be saved, and those degenerates who've just bought a child must be dealt with. They hate girls. We all know why. We just don't want to admit it. Why do people like you post such creepy things? Are you taking your medication? This is a form of human trafficking. A child deserves a mother's love. You are robbing him of that. F you." Now, this is another tweet that's kind of popping off. It is a girl that is talking about Sam Altman and his person having a baby boy. She says, "OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and his gay partner purchased a baby boy through surrogacy and showcased him on social media despite having just separated him from his mother. Gay couples should not be allowed to buy children." One of the most popular posts on this whole thing is one that calls out all of the couples. Dave Rubin bought a boy. Benjamin Cohen bought a boy. Anderson Cooper bought a boy. Pete Buttigieg bought a boy. Sam Altman bought a cat. I'm just kidding. No, he bought a boy. He's obviously suggesting something, and the suggestion is that there's a pattern, and it has to do with taking advantage of people that are younger. So it got 3.9 million impressions, and it's got a lot of activity going on. Looking at the comments, we have, "Surrogacy isn't child purchasing, you disgusting monster." Now, in that tweet alone, it's just a bunch of people going at it, and most of the people are saying, "You're an idiot." Yes, it is. The overall sentiment on Twitter is that there's something weird going on. They're disgusted by this. But the reason why I wanted to make this video and talk about this is because there is a bigger discussion, which is the idea of there being a mom and a father in the household. I saw this one comment that said not having the love of a mother is wrong, and it's something that should be illegal, that a child that doesn't have the love of a mother is being abused. I think that we as a society, we know that not having a father in the home is really bad. We see it in the crime statistics and everything, and it's a conversation that everybody has been openly having and most people agree on. But then there's another one, which is, should there be a woman in the home? And if there isn't a woman in the home, is that going to lead to a bunch of bad things? And so I actually just wanted to do a quick search on Google. What I asked and typed in on Google is, how does not having a mother affect the child in the home? And then Google's AI said, growing up without a mother can significantly impact a child's emotional development, potentially leading to feelings of insecurity, low self-esteem, difficulty forming healthy relationships, attachment issues, and struggles with emotional regulation, as the absence of a primary caregiver can create a void in their life that can be difficult to fill. This can manifest in behaviors like clinginess, withdrawal, or activity or acting out, depending on the child's coping mechanisms. So that answer was, I guess, specifically saying that just not having a primary care provider. But I think that there are some studies that show that not having a mother in the home is potentially, it has negative effects. But I don't really need studies to believe that. I already know intuitively that naturally man and woman have a child. And naturally, a child is expecting the love of a mother and the love of a father. And if the mother or the father are missing from the equation, the child's going to have a bad time. The conversation we need to start having as a society is that, is it okay for a child to not have a father and mother in the home? I think that it should be illegal. I don't think that a father, for example, like, it shouldn't be that a father needs to pay child support. Let's say there's a single mother and then the state makes the father pay child support if he's not in the home. I think that should be illegal. I think it should be illegal for a father to be absent and for a mother to be absent, unless, of course, they are violent, abusive. Then they need to just go straight to jail for the most part. I believe that a lot of the problems in our society would be solved. Obviously, I think most people can agree with this. Everything starts in the home with the parents. If a mom and a dad are present and they're healthy and, they got their act together and everything, the child's going to have a relatively good time. There's still going to be a lot of problems, but the mom and the dad in the home isn't going to be one of them. Now, on the whole trafficking side of things, I think that's ridiculous. People are just conspiratorial. It really doesn't make this conversation good in any way. We should just be having the conversation of, should people be allowed to adopt and have kids this way? Yes, people should be allowed to adopt. Children that need to be adopted are already in a really bad situation. I don't think biological parents can be replaced by any means. But obviously, it's better for a child to grow up in a home with loving parents, loving present people. It's much better than a child just growing up with nobody, obviously, or growing up in the state. But should a male and male couple or female and female couple be able to adopt children? They should be able to adopt children that are already born into this world, into families that can't give them a good life. Yeah, I think that they should be able to adopt them, but I don't think that they should be able to pay and have a surrogate mother and then take that mother that otherwise would have been in the child's life away. I think that if it could be avoided, it should. I think all human beings should be able to understand that a mother and a father needs to be in the home. Intentionally taking away a mother or a father from the home should be illegal. It shouldn't be allowed. That's why Pete Buttigieg adopting a child, adopting a boy, that's all right with me. I think that's fine. And all the people implying that he's going to be weird with him and everything, I don't think that's the case. I think it's better to get children in a home. My views do tend to go a little bit further down in the sense that overall, I do believe people that have their identity, their sexual identity messed up in a way. I believe in a traditional sexual identity. That's just my values and my belief system. And so overall, I do think that they have a screw loose in their head, essentially. That's what I believe. And I know a lot of people might get mad by that, and that's okay. I'm not like some totalitarian that believes anybody should be harmed or whatever, put in prisons or stuff like that. But I'm just voicing an opinion here. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't think male and male couples should be able to get a surrogate baby. I'm curious what you guys think. I'd like to get a discussion. Obviously, it's probably not going to be civil because this is a really hot topic. Maybe I'll get a bunch of hate in the videos. That's perfectly fine. But I'm just curious what you guys think on this, and I would like to participate in some of the conversations. Hopefully we could have respectable conversations, and hopefully you made it to the end of this video and not just watch the beginning of the video and started commenting. I get that a lot. So if you watch the end of this video, let's have a conversation. And if you look at some of my other videos, you'll see that I usually reply to most people, even if it's like really aggressive. So let's just be kind to one another, hopefully, and I'll see you in the comments section. All right, take care.